Hello everyone. I know I am a day late, but I'm still gonna do it. The All Out AEW review is next. Hello everyone, this is MykeCheck'd 95, and once again I do apologize for this video being a day late, but this is going to be the review video of AEW All Out. Now, for the reason why the video came out a day late, I came home yesterday from work. I ate some food, watched a few videos, and I fell asleep watching the videos. So that's kind of why. And I woke up super late, so I just went back to bed. That kind of stuff happens sometimes. But I am here to finally, I guess, have me give you my thoughts of AEW All Out, since everyone else and their mother has already reviewed it. But I figured that my added opinion to everything wouldn't really hurt anything. But before we get into All Out, I also ended up watching Buy-In, and a couple things that I wanted to point out about Buy-In is that on Buy-In the commentary seemed pretty solid for the most part. Now later on, I know some people will say that All Out commentary sucks because JR messed it up and it's all his fault and yada yada yada. I'm really not going to get into the whole comment thing that JR said about Anna Jay. I mean, people have already said their opinions. I don't really have anything to say about it. I mean, what he said was wrong, but it is what it is, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I will say there were two lines in Buy-In that I thought were kind of funny. During the description of the Mimosa Mayhem match, they decided, Tony said rope bracks instead of rope breaks, which I actually caught hearing while I was making dinner that night, since the kitchen's like right next to the living room, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck? I kind of wish I saw it on TV, but I missed it. And then the other one, I don't remember exactly where this was expressed, but somebody said Grand Theft Auto on crack, and that caught me off guard too. I think I was in the kitchen again when that part was said, but it was really like, what the fuck. But now it's time to get into the two matches they had on the Buy-In. The first match, which, I mean, I had really no idea that it was going to be a thing until that night. They kind of just like threw it in there, but I kind of, I guess, get it to kind of get the crowd going instead of having one matchup, which was already planned. It was Serpentico versus Joey Janela. I mean, there wasn't really anything to lose in this match. I mean, it was a typical, I think it's like a typical AEW dark match, I would say, but it was alright. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I didn't see anything really bad about it. Luther was really weird. I don't really know much about him. I mean, I need to watch more of AEW Dark and whatnot, and just more AEW in general. But I mean, he just kind of came out and started like doing his Luther shit, and then he randomly attacked Son and Kiss on the outside, but I mean, he didn't attack Joey Janela in the ring, so I mean, there's no harm done there. But yeah, it was kind of odd, I'd say. In the end, Joey Janela gets the win. Again, not a terrible match. I mean, if you missed it, it's not really gonna hurt anything. Not one of those matches you have to see, but it was good all in all. Dark Order's John Silver and Alex Reynolds versus Private Party. I went into this not knowing how good of wrestlers Reynolds and Silver were, and I was kind of blown away by their tag team abilities in this matchup. I mean, like I said, I've only seen their comedy bits on BTE, but they impressed me a lot for just being a comedy bit. In the ring, they were very efficient as a tag team, I would say, but in the end, it wasn't enough, and Private Party was able to get the win and whatnot. This match, I think, was a little bit better than the singles match with Serpentico and Joey Janela. It's a really good match to go into the actual pay-per-view part and everything. I kind of wish this match was actually on the main card. I felt like it would have made the main card a little bit more solid, but that's just my opinion. But in the end, Private Party gets the win over John Silver and Alex Reynolds. And then we get into the pay-per-view itself, and the first few matches. Whew, they're all over the place. First match we get is the tooth and nail match between Britt Baker and Big Swole. Didn't really know much about it. It turned out to be not really a cinematic match. I mean, yeah, you can say it's a cinematic match because it took place outside of the ring and whatnot. The two of them fought in a doctor's office. It was mainly a handicap match with Reba there too, but Big Swole's able to get the win. I predicted Britt Baker, but I don't know, like, I kind of felt like this should have been on the pre-show, and nothing against the women involved in it. It's just, I wasn't really, I guess, wowed in this matchup. It was just kind of like, oh, it's there. Ooh, okay. It was kind of meh. Like, it was almost kind of boring, I would say. But it is what it is, and I don't think it was a good start to AEW All Out. But Big Swole did get the win over Britt Baker in a tooth and nail match, which was in a doctor's office, a dentist's doctor's office. It looked like they were trying to replicate the grocery store battle between Steve Austin and Booker T, I would say, but I don't think that they did that great, and this rivalry is definitely going to continue. I feel like this match should have opened the pay-per-view. Is Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. This match was actually really good. I was really entertained thoroughly throughout the match. Again, Luchasaurus just continues to impress me with his size and whatnot, and how he is able to do moonsaults and springboard and shit and fly around. Like, this dude is just impressive, I would say. I mean, no, not like, don't get me wrong. Jungle Boy is really good too. Like, I like him a lot as well. It's just for the size of Luchasaurus, it always catches me off guard seeing a guy that big springboarding halfway across the ring. Young Bucks, they did a little bit of like heelish tactics in this matchup. It's kind of like a proving ground. Not really like a proving ground, but like a advancement and ranking matchup. Kind of like the Private Party Dark Order match. But Young Bucks did get the win at the end of the day, and it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. It should have opened up pay-per-view instead of the tooth and nail match, but it is what it is, and it's a weird order. After that was the Casino Royale Battle Royale. Casino Royale. I said Casino Royale, and I immediately thought James Bond, but it was the Casino Battle Royale, which I feel like it should have been later on in the card. I kind of felt like it should have been a little bit more important, but again, it is what it is. It was okay. It was your typical Battle Royale match. It was a little bit all over the place. Evan Bourne was the surprise entrant. There was only one surprise entrant, not three. And he botches the shooting star press when he slipped off the top rope and almost landed neck first on the turnbuckle. We'll get into injuries later, but yeah, that was a little scary. Maybe he can have a match on Dark to kind of like redeem himself. Lance Archer wins the Casino Battle Royale, and that was my other pick. That was my more realistic pick to win the match, and I feel like they did the right thing there. And it was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. I'm not saying it's the best one, but I didn't hate it. Oh man, this match kind of soured the pay-per-view for the rest of the night. I mean, I know that accidents happen, but it kind of ruined the tone of the night, I feel like, and it was just lingering in the back of everyone's minds for the rest of the evening. It was Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Broken Rules match, the last man standing match. And not even 5 minutes in, Matt Hardy gets knocked off of a scissors lift and crashes through a table, also whacking the back of his head on the concrete floor. Oh man, this is, besides JR's commentary saying, he said later on the night, this was also the most talked about point of the night. And again, it did sour the evening, I feel like, for myself. I really don't have much to say other than I personally feel like they should have not continued with the matchup. But I think some people say that Matt Hardy didn't push it, but I really think Matt Hardy wanted to finish the matchup and he was cleared to continue. But yeah, I just feel bad for Matt Hardy. He's been getting more hurt than Jeff has been lately, and it's really weird seeing Matt and a guy getting hurt more than Jeff, when Jeff's the more crazy high-flying guy, I feel like. But yeah, Matt Hardy got the win. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it, other than they shouldn't have continued with the match. After that, I feel like this is where the pay-per-view kind of turned around. I mean, besides that lingering concern, the pay-per-view did turn around match quality-wise. I feel like it was Shida versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. I would love to see more of Thunder Rosa on AEW. She was really good in this matchup. I really had a fun time watching this matchup. Like I said, I don't really have much to say about it, because I did say that AEW's Women's League is not the best, but this match kind of proved that if you give them the right time and the right place, they can pull out good matches, and this was one of them. Very fantastic matchup. That step up, the running step up, dropkick or clothesline. I don't even remember the move. Like, it was a running step up attack that Thunder Rosa did from that steel chair was honestly really good. There's also a really close, scary bump in this one, where Shida drove her knees into the face of Thunder Rosa. Back of Rosa's head almost hit the stage stairs, which is a little scary. I mean, coming right off of Matt Hardy's injury. But besides that, it was really good, and I would like to see them go at it again. After that was Dark Order with Brody Lee, Cole Cabana, Stu Grayson, and Evil Uno taking on the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona, and Scorpio Sky. This matchup, it was all over the place, but more of like, not like the Battle Royale. It's more of like a fun all over the place, because I knew there was a story behind it, a really serious story, which made it very entertaining. Some people said it was kind of like your typical 8-man tag team match on AEW Dynamite, but I would say that it was honestly entertaining to watch for the chaoticness it had. Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and National Nightmares did get the win over Dark Order, which surprised me, but at least it wasn't Brody Lee taking the fall, it was Cole Cabana, which builds more story to that as we go on throughout this week. Following that, we find out that Dustin Rhodes is getting a TNT Championship title match against Brody Lee, which that's going to be a good match if they let the two of them actually go all out and not just let Brody Lee just destroy him. But I mean, either way, however they do it, it's going to be a fun match to watch, I'd say. After that was, honestly, I'd say the match of the night. FTR taking on Adam Page and Kenny Omega for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. A lot of people, I think some people would say that it wasn't that great because just because of the slow style of tag team, because a lot of people were used to the fast-paced, high-flying action in tag team matches. I liked this one a lot because it reminded me of like old school tag teams. I mean, when I say old school, I don't really mean like super old school. Kind of like the tag team matches they had back in like 2003 and 2004, where it was still not super high paced, but it was still kind of like it drug out and they told more of a story in the ring. It was like one of those, and oh man. FTR is a great tag team. Adam Page is a great wrestler. Kenny Omega is a phenomenal wrestler, and I feel like this one actually beat out Page and Omega versus the Young Bucks from, I guess, earlier this year. And FTR did get the win as expected, and they did deserve it. And after the match, it looked like Kenny Omega was going to attack Adam Page, but he changes his mind and kind of just leaves Adam Page like lifeless in the ring and storms out and literally drives away from the arena, leaving the Young Bucks behind. It's just more story building to the Elite falling apart, the self-destruction of that group. It's really interesting, and I'm kind of curious what's going to happen with Adam Page and Kenny Omega from there. After that match, it was the Mimosa Mayhem match with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. This matchup could have gone bad pretty quickly if it wasn't these two people, but Cassidy and Jericho pulled out a really great match in this one. Not really a match I would like go back and watch again, but for the one-time viewing of me seeing it, it was actually pretty good. Like, I had it ranked probably in the top 5 favorite matches in the night. Orange Cassidy did get the win with the Superman punch, or like a orange punch to Jericho, and Jericho falls off the top rope and gets submerged in one of the vats of Mimosa. Again, solid match. Not a match I'd probably go back and watch again, like anytime soon. I mean, maybe like years down the road, but it was pretty good. We get the main event with MJF versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. When I first got into this match, I didn't know what to think because I've never really actually seen MJF wrestle. I mean, I've seen him wrestle one match a while back against Jungle Boy at another pay-per-view, but I don't really remember his wrestling style from there because I watched that pay-per-view really intoxicated. But as the match went on, I was still trying to pretty much what I'm trying to say is I didn't know how I felt about MJF's wrestling style, but as it went on, it actually grew on to me, and this matchup actually turned out to be really good, like for what it was. Jon Moxley did get the win at the end of the night. Again, I would say is the right call because I would say MJF is not ready for the championship. Some people are saying that Moxley should be Archer and then lose the belt to Kenny. I don't think so. I think it's Archer's time to win the championship whenever they do that matchup, but Archer versus Moxley is going to be great on paper, and it's going to be great in the ring, and it's definitely going to be a great match when it happens. Overall, like, the pay-per-view, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't bad. It had some bad moments, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal, but that last 4 or 5 matches after the Matt Hardy match, it really saved the pay-per-view, I would say, because if it would have ended on Matt Hardy's match, it probably would have definitely ruined it. But I would probably rank it like a 6.8 out of 10 on a pay-per-view. Again, that's not like a terrible pay-per-view, but it's not a great pay-per-view. It was a good one. It was a good one to kind of sit back and watch and just kind of let your mind go and let the action in the ring tell the story itself. Besides that, those are my thoughts on AEW All Out. Not a great pay-per-view, but a good one. What are your thoughts on AEW All Out? Did you guys like the event? Did you guys hate the event? You guys can reach out to me on my social media or on my 2 Patreon accounts, MykeCheck'd95 or RDW Red Dust. Besides that, this is MykeCheck'd95 with MykeCheck'd Productions, signing out.